All right. Hello, my pride and joy, as you know, Pride of Lions. And we're here roaring with, now is it Johnny or Joni? I should have
Joni.
asked Joni. I should have asked that.
It's okay.
And I just want you to know she is just amazing. We've been doing Life on Fire together. I've just watched her grow, and she's just one of the most amazing people you'll ever meet. So I'm going to let her introduce herself a little bit, and then we'll just have a conversation today.
Yes, as she did so well introducing, my name is Joni Killius. I am a mother of 6 children, a wife. I am multi-talented entrepreneur. My heart is filled with purpose in many directions, but the main one is in financial literacy. Mainly due because of my own story, my own personal financial story. I did go through college and working on my doctorate in accounting. And I've been in many capacities from everywhere from major corporate America accounting and negotiations, all the way down to working with small business owners with their bookkeeping and taxes. And that's really where my heart is dealing, helping with individuals on their money mindset. Again, like I said, because of my own financial story. I have faced many struggles in my life and many triumphs through my faith in Christ. He has really brought me through some of the most amazing things. And looking back on my journey, I can be forever grateful for the skills and just the amazing blessings and redemption that Christ brings to your lives. I've been through cancer, I've been through foreclosure, bankruptcy, domestic violence, foster homes, adoptions, and child loss. So just a really many things. And I always like to look at it this way, that I've got to be destined for something really powerful, because if not, I wouldn't be attacked as many times as I've been attacked. So that's just kind of a quick snippet about me.
Wow. We definitely do not have enough time to talk
No.
to you today. We need an all-day session. This is going to be a summit here. Wow. So where do we even begin with something like that? I mean, gosh, it's your story is incredible. So I do know where I want to start. Let's talk about this redemption you were talking about earlier. What is that? Can we talk about that?
Yeah, and we'll dial it in. I'll help dial it in just a little bit more. I feel extremely purposeful and passionate about finding financial peace despite your circumstances. And again, it's because that is so much of that redemption piece. My education and my background for many years, almost 20 years, has been in finances and accounting. And we were literally on mountaintop and thought that, everything was coming together. We were in church, we were purchasing. I had just finished my master's. I was working in corporate America. I had my bookkeeping service, but still my value was tied to my material possessions. It was tied to the money in the bank. It was tied to what I could achieve and do with all that I had achieved. And even though I was in church and active in these things, I had my faith and I believed in Christ, but it was not that deep. We even tithed. So I thought we were doing all the right things, but it was truly the mindset behind what and why and the impact that I was making. Literally was just, doing all the things that like people say, you normally think. You grow up, you go to college, you go into a career, or you have a business, and, children come along. And it literally was facing death and the total destruction and the spiral after that, when God truly redeemed me of many things. During those years of destruction and death, and when we were facing, that's when when I found that it was the mindset behind everything, and the choices that we make, and the support that we have.
Well, let's go into that mindset a little bit. That's kind of something that's been coming up on the last few of these shows that I've been doing is where is the mindset? So you went from a mindset of I'm doing all the right things that I'm supposed to be doing. I'm on top of the world. Everything is perfect. Look what I've done. Things changed. Then what changed? How did
Uh,
your mindset change from where you were to what you are now, which is amazing?
um, well, so I was feeling like on top of the mountain, we were doing all the things, buying the new cars, had a huge home where we were active in the church, just all of the things, all the check boxes were checked. And then I was diagnosed with cancer for the second time, and it had spread to my liver. And it was truly the doctors were, it was death. It was already way past, it was stage 4B. And then from there, my husband, we only had 4 children at the time. And the mindset behind, like, he was losing everything. We did end up losing everything because I had quit corporate America shortly, about 6-7 months before the cancer diagnosis. So I had no medical insurance. I only had my home-based business, which was doing really well. I mean, we were able to support the family with it. But then whenever the cancer diagnosis came, having no insurance, our finances quickly dwindled. And then my husband feeling like he was losing me, I was feeling like I was dying. I wasn't walking in that healing of Christ. Because like I said, I was religious, but didn't have a relationship, I guess is the best way to say. I was the Sunday school teacher, the Awana teacher. We were doing all the things and going through all the motions, but it wasn't really that true, honest relationship with Christ and leaning into his strength and healing powers. And through that spiral of things, that's when we got behind on the mortgage. When the mortgage got foreclosed on, I went through bankruptcy to try and save our home. And my husband fell into addiction first. And then shortly, then of course I reached out for help for different things, and was shut down. The way that the system is designed it is broken when it comes to needing the help. And in our area, the help could only come from once the children were in the system. So my kids were taken from me. I was in addiction. I had fallen into addiction because I was just trying to numb the pain. And through all of that, we literally lost everything. And the day of redemption that I feel, that day of total surrender to that, I can't do it. Through all of this, oh, you're so strong, you can do this, no, I can't do anything. I am not enough. And Christ, I am only enough through Christ, who gives me that strength. And I literally, the day of full surrender, I was sitting in the jail cell because I had violated my probation. I had been caught with methamphetamines. I was pregnant with our 6th child. I was not receiving my cancer treatments, which was going to kill me. But I was in a spiral where I couldn't get out of. And it was in that jail cell when I really felt like I was going to die. I was going to die in the jail. My kids, I was days away from signing over adoption to my children, to my sister-in-law that they had been placed with. I had nowhere to go, even if I did get out of jail, and I needed help. Rehabs wouldn't take me because of my cancer. And it was in the jail that we had found out that the pregnancy, my daughter, had a genital heart defect. So I was sitting with this guilt and this shame and this condemnation and just this, God, I'm here and there's absolutely nothing I can do. Can you just take me already? That's how the mindset that I had going into jail. And it was there that Christ sent an angel to me. You know, my public defender took it on as a capital case. And, you know, I'm sure she's heard many, many times, many stories and lies and things, but I literally was telling the God's honest truth that I was in a spot that I needed help. And so it was through the cancer and through my daughter's heart defect that I was able to get out of jail, because it was medical, it was a capital case, you know, and that would have been a life sentence to have stayed in a public jail, not even prison, just a public jail, and not receive the treatments that I needed and that she needed. So literally, God set the jail, open the jail cells, and I was able to get out. And trust me, it was not easy. I was still on ankle monitor. I wasn't allowed to leave my home after 6 o'clock in the evening. I couldn't leave the county. My doctors and her doctors were in another county. So I had to get court orders for everything. And it was there whenever I totally surrendered to God that, you know, I would never put myself in that position again, that I knew that my strength only came from him, and trying to do it in my own strength, I was going to make a mess. And so it was there that we set on that path to begin restoring, and the restoration, and just putting, I often say it's just literally putting one foot in front of the other. You don't know where it's headed, but I know where I came from, and I'm not looking back. I want to change those things, and God did. He put the people, places, and things into my life. And it was funny, I just went live on my page this morning talking about the support, you know, and where that was one of the things that I had to change, those people, places, and things, and find that true support system. But I also had to learn how to reach out and ask again for the support, because like I had indicated early on in my cancer journey, when I had reached out for support, the support wasn't there. So I was fearful to lean into and admit that I can't do it all.
Right, right. So just for those out there who might be looking for support, where did you find support? You know, talk about the reaching out process, maybe.
Okay, so a lot of the at that time, a lot of the support was given to us according to our case plan. So there was parenting classes, there was substance abuse treatment, there was marriage counseling, there was, you know, all the things. And it was just literally trying to just figure it out. Of course, we were in, you know, we had just went through foreclosure and bankruptcy. So it was repairing my credit and taking care of all the court fines and the fees and, you know, thousands of dollars to get there. But it was just like, I like to say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You know, you just take that next step and you just deal with what you have to at the moment. So we first leaned into those measures of support and getting the kids, getting reunified with the kids, and our case being closed. One of the ways that I received support was the day that my daughter had passed away. Our guardian ad litem, our children were always placed with family members, and they were kind of scattered. But one of the guardian ad litem stepped in and said, because when I got out of jail, the only place that I could go to was the home that I was living in before I went to jail, and it was a trap house. It was a drug house, and I knew being there was just you know, a threat to my not only to my sobriety, but to my freedom, because you can't be around those people. So it was, but I had nowhere else to go. I literally would have been on the streets. And so the day that my daughter passed, the guardian ad litem took heart, because she really didn't have to do this. She did not have to step in and intercede on my behalf at all. The children were safe, and she had done her duties. But she stepped in, and she knew that if I went back to that home that day, or I went back to that place, it wasn't even a home. If I went back to that place that particular day, it jeopardized everything.
Yeah.
It jeopardized my safety. It jeopardized my sobriety. It jeopardized my freedom, and my children. And, you know, we literally, by the grace of God, had set out on this course to be reunified eventually. So, and I literally had just held my 17-day-old daughter as she passed away. And so she knew, she reached out with the grace of God and the love of God, and she moved heaven and earth. And I was placed with my mother-in-law. I was placed. My mother-in-law opened up her home to us, to give us a safe place to rest. And it was because of her generosity and this guardian ad litem stepping in the way that she did when she didn't have to, that literally set the course, to be in a community where I was introduced to some products that literally changed my health and wellness, but also give me a community of support, that to, you know, change my mindset and to be grateful, but also give us, eventually down the road, you know, a couple years later, it's about 2 years after I was introduced to the community, and this one particular mama who reached out and, you know, was so gracious with the products that literally changed my health and wellness, that I opened up, you know, it became a stream of income. And because we literally, by this time I had already gotten my disability going, and, you know, I was struggling just to make it through each day in my health and wellness. I was, you know, I was drinking coffee and sodas, and I wasn't paying attention to my physical health. You know, I was just looking at, this is what I have to do. This is what I have to do, checking those boxes again. And so it opened me up to that. I knew that God had saved me from all of that. And my faith was starting to get stronger in my relationship with Christ. But it was when I could start thinking clearly, and when I felt better, that I really started digging into that gut health and mind, the mental correlation. Which then, you know, and then having a little bit more wiggle room financially, this business was, okay, well, I'm getting a little bit of wiggle room. We can do a little bit more. You know, our needs were met, but we didn't have any overflow after that. So it opened me up to the idea of abundance and gratitude, and also just reconnecting and creating a routine that's going to get you through, you know, those hard days. Because some days it's not like I was just recently saying, you know, some days it's motivation, some days it's just sheer determination, but every day it has to be consistent. Because that's when you literally putting one foot in front of the other and creating that routine that supports your mental health and your physical health, as well as your spiritual health. And then through that, because I'm so strong faith-based, because I've seen God restore my life and literally miracle, you know, the cancer not went away. The cancer, we beat the cancer after multiple different treatments and lots of prayer and healing sessions. Oh my gosh, it's 2022. February was 2 years that I got, like, the cancer's gone. I've not had any cancer treatments in 2 years. I do go every 4 months for scans. And right now we're under surveillance, and go tomorrow for my next scans. And so just again, just that consistent daily action. But through that and my faith, I was introduced to, I saw the challenge, Business on Fire. And I was like, yeah, I want to bring a faith element into my business. So that's when I was introduced to Life on Fire and the whole faith-based entrepreneur concept. And since then, I've even gone a step further. You know, God's really been laying on my heart this financial piece, you know, no matter your circumstances. But I have recently collaborated with another group of Christ-centered women in personal and professional and faith development, to where I have the opportunity to be a power partner so that I can mentor and coach others through financial hardships and plugging into Christ, and just really having Christ as your foundation, and plugging into that source and utilizing everything that he gives to you as a resource, and understanding that it's my divine identity and who I am in Christ, and not the money in the bank, not the degrees, not the rank, not the titles, all those things. So that's where those measures of support. So my health and wellness journey is my network marketing company, my faith-based, just who I choose to collaborate and network with, as well as, just a strong, strict routine, and literally just really falling into Christ's arms and knowing that my value and my worth is in him and not the material things.
Wow, that's powerful right there. Yeah, definitely. So I'm just kind of trying to take it all in. So correct me if I'm wrong, but you went from being on top of the world, going to church, you had all these people there, and then yourself changed, and all of a sudden all these people and stuff you had at church weren't your support group. And then things just tumbled down from there. And then your support didn't come specifically from family, it came from these different entities. And then you started building up a good support group from there. Is that kind of it?
Yes. So, we were on the mountaintop, and right after or right before my cancer diagnosis, the church that we belonged to, actually broke apart. Mm-hmm. So that's how we lost that connection. It was probably the one piece of glue that was holding us together. So shortly thereafter, we weren't going to church anymore because we had not found another church home. So removing even the little bit of checking the check boxes helped. I mean, it I think was one of the things that caused, some of the spiral. And my family and my husband's family was a big part of our support system through obviously through the active addiction and taking care of our children. And while, we went on that journey. And so it started first with our family, because without them, it probably would have been a completely, totally different thing. And then it was reaching out to the community. I actually didn't reach out, I was invited into. And that was really powerful, because it changed, it literally did change the trajectory of, our lives. And it was literally plugging into that community. The woman that introduced me to the health and wellness products that I use and promote was a mom inside of the recreation department Facebook group, because we were trying to get some playground equipment put in and do things for the kids. And so I was literally just plugging into the community in different areas to create that support system, because during the active addiction and all of that, other than family, we didn't have those other pieces that were very much needed. And so it was through that, okay, well, we start on this health and wellness journey, and we had started going to church pretty regularly as well. And so bits and pieces of that community. But then I started, COVID shut us all down, and we're on Zooms and things like that. So I started leaning into the online platforms for that Christ-centered resources and community, and plugging in those spots to where, that's where how in Christ had led me, because I was at home, and it's different totally different because I've gone, over 18 years. I've been used to the corporate world, and still having that side business, my bookkeeping and the tax service on the side. But all of that was gone. And so here I'd found myself with the health and wellness products that, really helped me with things that I was struggling with my physical health, which opened up, also the idea of the mental health, because of that correlation, the gut and mental correlation. And then, okay, so then it was like from there, then just the stream of income. I said I'd done network marketing before, direct sales where you had to do all those things, but this model literally opened me up to a new way of thinking. And it was through that, then I started doing bookkeeping again. And because I was thinking better, I was feeling better, my mind was right, and focused on Christ. And it's just like, it happened. God just laid it out. And it's literally just been, again, just that consistency in showing up for myself, for Christ, keeping my eyes on him.
Well, see, this time went by so fast. It seems like we just got started. So I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for talking about this amazing change and giving us, steps on things that we can do when something happens, and just being encouraging to us.
And thank you so much for having me. And just
You're coming back.
Yes, just plug into the source, and he will give you all the resources that you need to get you through
Absolutely.
any journey that you may be walking in.
All right. Thank you.